Well, hello everybody and welcome. We are just about getting ready to start. Let me just make sure everyone here is readied up. They are not quite there, so I'm going to harass some people while I introduce our commentary team and tracking team to you today. My name is Natara and I will be the restreamer, so I will be frantically doing things in the background while Sunny Tappan and Z-Man will be your commentary team, and Crimson Avix will be working very hard tracking our items. So I'm going to hand it over to our commentary team and get this race started.
Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing tonight? I am Z-Man, and with me tonight in the commentary booth, as Natara said, is Sunny. Sunny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well tonight. We've got a pretty good race coming up here. We've got four pretty good, pretty good. We have four very pretty well experienced runners here. We got Big Dunka, kind of nerdy housewife, Error, and Zilch. I'm not familiar with Zilch and Error, but kind of nerdy housewife I know has been running some of these qualifying races, and Big Donka, I believe, was in the league last year.
Yep, and Zilch was also in the league, I believe, but Zilch has been performing very well, as has Error. So these four certainly have to be considered four of the favorites to join our six in the final table, as well as the others that will qualify through Z-Score. So we have a Dark Cecil and Sid start. We have Golbez at Baron, and we have a Legend Sword start. So the big thing here that we are looking for, this is giant percent. So we are looking for the darkness crystal because that gives access to the giant of Babel. So really the go mode item here is the darkness crystal. So the first thing our runners will be doing will be getting their characters and hunting for that darkness crystal.
Yes, and also, just to quickly go over flags, T4 means that basically anything can be in treasure chests. The SC flag is on, which means they will only find cabins and shops, no Bacchus wines, no cures, nothing like that. The Fusoya challenge is also on, and besides that, we just have kind of our goofy seeds. We see that is Porum at the Baron Inn alongside Demon Wall. So that might be kind of a tricky spot.
Demon Wall at that spot, it's actually not too bad because the HP at that spot is super duper low. So that spot shouldn't be too bad. It's going to be what's behind it that could be more of a problem. Glass helmet, though, in the water in Baron, nice little find there. It's the best helmet for defense against physical attacks. So that, depending on who we see in the giant, the glass helmet may or may not come into play, especially if we have a high physical somebody like an ant lion or an octomom in that spot up in the giant.
You'll also see that kind of nerdy housewife is heading to Troya. The free lunch flags are on in the seed set, so that means you can go to Troya to get your free key item from Bedward, and as Big Dunka and Zilch and Error are also doing, they are going to Mysidia to pick up their free characters. In Mysidia is Kane, as well as Fusoya. Fusoya is very valuable in this flag set, in case you need to do a D-Machine grind.
I do believe we have go mode. Edward has the darkness crystal. This is going to be a quick one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy. So, at this point, Housewife is looking to basically just get a team together and go, go, go.
Well, with the Foo flag, with the Foo challenge on, my opinion, what I would do is I would certainly grind a few bosses here. You know, the two vanilla spots. We have the Mist Dragon and the Octomom spot, and try to get Foo nuke as quickly as possible.
Yep. And, maybe find an adamant armor, put that on him. Should be pretty good to go as long as the boss isn't magic based. Rivers points out, we have an Edward, so now we could possibly have an infinite spoon seed.
We could indeed.
We had one of those in the first race of this qualifier. So, that's another route you could go, is finding Edward, finding the spoon, finding Edge, and then giving Edge inanimate armor, and letting him just go to town.
Okay, we have our second Edward here appearing in Damsian, Vanilla Edward. So really, at this point, once everybody gets their Darkness Crystal from Bedward, should be relatively quickly. It's just a matter of, like you said, getting their party together and then grinding up some levels for the bosses in the giant. And really, one of the best ways to do that in this type of a seed is going to be through use of Weak and the Life Glitch up at the D machines in the giant.
D machine grind is a decently complicated grind when you're starting out. But I think it's safe to assume that most, if not all, of the people running this race know how to do it. Oh, apparently I missed a wyvern with bad breath. Oh wait, no, we're talking about what we're hoping for. Never mind. I got confused.
Error and Zilch Zilch has already picked up his Darkness Crystal. Big Duncan and Error about to pick up theirs.
Counter nerdy, going for Hane and Fu. So there are a variety of what could possibly be in the not only the element spot but also the CPU spot. The only bosses that we know of for sure are that Golbez is in the Vigan spot, and Demon Wall is in the first Baronin spot. Other than that, it could be anything.
We're about to find out what boss is here on Hobbs, because we have Zilch doing a Hobbs check, maybe for an Edge or who.
So the boss on top could be as simple as Water Hag, or it could be, vanilla CPU, or it could be elements in that slot.
Or the seed could be really nice and decide to give us something free, like, the Baron Guards, the Dark Imps, or something along those lines.
Yep. Rydia up on Mount Hob.
And in this case, Rydia is probably just a slight bit more valuable, because you never know if there are... if there's a Bahamut summon, well, that's an instant, huge source of damage here. And it looks like we have
Vanilla Derek.
Yep, we have a Vanilla D-Mist.
Sorry.
And we have the Dark Elf on Hobbs. So that's... Dark Elf is one of those, at least half nasty bosses up where the element spot is. The second half of the form is actually not bad, but that first half can be kind of brutal.
From experience, it just kind of takes a bit. But Tifa brings up a good point. Rydia is going to get Nuke at 50 in this flag set because of no JS seed.
Okay, so now we're going to see if there's anything decent here on Hobbs.
They do seem to be taking the route of go and beat a bunch of easy bosses for spells to get spells on Fu.
Yep, Error is going to take on the Evil Wall, and then whatever's behind that. It'll be interesting to see if any of our runners make the Ordeals play, because the Ordeals play, not only will they give you Paladin Cecil, but it's 3 relatively quick bosses for...
Unless it's back attack, football gauntlet. Which would be the worst case scenario and cost a lot of time.
Ashura at the Octomom spot.
That'll knock her out of the element and CPU spots. She's not too terrible of a boss to see there, but still not great. Error taking on Kainazo in the Baron Inn, so that also eliminates him from the pool.
Yep, so those of you wishing for Kainazzo at the element spot, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Kinda Nerdy is heading up to the moon to see who is there. And it is... Palom.
It's Quack Kid, so there's another source of black magic damage. You know, Quake and Nuke certainly very handy.
And he learns those spells pretty quick. I think he learns Quake at 22?
I believe it is 22, and Nuke is 50 or 52.
I want to say 52.
Zilch is just beelining the Antlion Cave, just to take down this boss.
Duncan's having a little bit of trouble with the Asura spot, with the Asura. Lack of wall on Fusoya giving him some issues, and he can't quite hit that life loop.
Yeah, at this point on Big Dunka's side, if he had saved before this, I'd be a big advocate here of just getting out of this fight and just moving along, because right now he's just wasting time on this Ashura fight, and you know, given how quickly that darkness crystal is, time is definitely of the essence in this seed.
Indeed. I would assume he didn't save, though. It is costing him quite a bit of time. Zilch going for Fabul, while Error is heading up Ordeals. Ooh, Error picking up an Excalibur out of a treasure chest.
Oh, so that's really nice, especially if Error decides to finish Ordeals. Ooh, Rosa. This way, then, if they do find an Edge, you know, Edge can Dark the Excalibur for massive damage, or you can equip it on Paladin Cecil and Berserk Paladin Cecil, and...
Oh, Crimson missed what Error got from, Baron Inn.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but that's okay. Because, you know, whatever he got there probably isn't that ultimately necessary.
It doesn't really matter when we're on this fast of a seed.
We have the CPU at the Fabul Gauntlet spot, so that's another boss out of the mix. And the first boss on Fabul is Yang.
Not bad. Although, personally, I like Yang in the back attack spot for his around the world kick. Pretty fun. Big Dunka finally out of the Asura fight, going through Antlion Cave, trying to get him some easy boss. Should have signed. Sorry about that. Alright.
Alright, so it looks like Dunka is going to make his way down Antlion Cave, so we'll be able to see what the item at the Antlion Cave was. The item is, you know, not like it really matters, it's the hook. Oh, so that's another free character, so it could just be a vanilla Edge seed. That'd be wonderful.
Indeed. Sadly, no Spoon, but considering we have that Excalibur's a pretty close second to Spoon.
Oh, important to note, the Antlion item was the pink tail, so Zilch now has the hook and the pink tail. So Zilch will be able to pick up an adamant arm.
That will be extremely important.
Plague up on as the back attack on Ordeals.
That
Not
is a
fun spot.
That is a very unfortunate spot for Plague.
It's an unfortunate spot for Plague, but the quote-unquote good news is Plague at element spot would just be brutal.
Yes.
So that's a good boss to have out of.
Yes. The thing about Plague at Elements is that you automatically get healed at Element Spot, so you can't kill off a party member, go into the fight, revive them, give them cast wall on them, and then just go from there. So you'd have to do the fight by making sure you'd have to take time out during the fight to kill someone, revive them, and then even then you might not be able to cast Reflect on them in enough time. It's overall just a big mess. Not to mention that normally the way you get through that gate on normally the way you get through Plague on either that spot or the Rubicon spot is through Kamikaze. But since we're on SC, only items in shops are cabins.
So it looks like Error is doing a little grinding here?
I'm not sure.
Oh, looks like he wants to kill off Cecil. Okay.
Ah.
So he wants to kill off Cecil so he can revive Cecil. And then have Plague reset the timer that way. That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Plague, yeah, exactly. Plague loop strats. Alright, Big Donka going into Fabul to do that CPU fight. Zilch is on his way up Ordeals. And kinda nerdy, going through the Asura fight herself.
And
So
kind of nerdy says, nope, not doing that.
So, what are some of the other fights that you really don't want to see at CPU or Elements?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is Ogopogo. That would just be brutal because then a lot of spells just basically become useless because of that blaze counter that Ogopogo has. So Ogopogo definitely would be number one on my list to definitely not see. Number two would probably be Dark Cecil, because
that's right.
Especially at the element spot, Dark Cecil at the element spot would do massive amounts of damage. Although that's where Edward could come in really handy.
Just hide him away and you'll be good to go.
If you can get a turn off with Edward.
Exactly. Stuff you would want to see there, though, obviously free fights like Kaipo guards, Baron guards, Water Hag, that sort of thing.
Dark Imp.
Dark Imps.
Anything
Gauntlet.
Yeah. Well, Fabul Gauntlet isn't, I mean, it would be time consuming, but relatively free.
Yes. If we're talking non-completely free bosses, Pale Dim wouldn't be too bad to run into there. Assuming you've got a good physical team set up. And considering this team, you've got Cecil, you've got Sid, you've got Kane. That wouldn't be too hard to deal with.
King Queen Ablon would be another free one.
Yes, that as well.
As I say that, right as Tifa's Revenge puts it in chat.
Yeah.
Nice. Great minds think alike, Tifa.
But we're slowly eliminating the possibilities. And Error is about to show us who is in Dark Knight spot. Magus Sisters. If I remember correctly, Magus Sisters can actually be a pretty tough fight in, I want to say, Elements?
Yeah, Magus Sisters at the Elements isn't something you really want to see much of. Although the CPU spot is significantly easier than the Element spot. The Element spot is one of the more brutal ones in the game for a lot of bosses, especially just due to the astronomically high HP that comes with that spot.
And even if it's divided by 3, that's still a lot.
Okay, so Error does turn into Paladin Cecil. I should say Error's Cecil turns into Paladin Cecil.
I wasn't gonna say anything. But yes, Error getting that Paladin, getting access to that Excalibur. If he manages to find an edge to dupe that, that'll be great. Or you can just equip it on Cecil and watch him go.
Zilch taking down Plague at 5 double zeros.
I rate that 0 out of 50. Get it? Because
Well, wouldn't that be 0 out of 10?
no, it's 10 on it's 10 on each person.
Oh, all right, fair. All right, I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you.
So Error is heading off to. I think he's making the Octovamp slot play. Zilch is finishing up ordeals. Big Dunk is on his way up, and Housewife is gonna do Fool. We have not gotten Harp Song yet, and it's not likely we're gonna get Harp Song because we already have Go Mode, and the only thing that Twin Harp gets you is another key item, and we already have Dark Crystal. So
It would get you another boss too, but I can't imagine going, between the cutscene and having to go in and out of that cave. I can't imagine we're going to see music here. I just can't. Although that said, our people are slowly starting to run out of boss spots to fight here for Fu. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody goes and actually uses that hook, or it just is like, all right, time to go grind something up on the moon.
because Fusoya has not gotten weak yet. Nope. So there's a couple possibilities. As you said, they could go down through Tower of Babel. That will give you 2 boss spots. They're not the easiest boss spots in the world, but that's definitely an option. Tifa's brings up Behemoth Grind, which is an option as well. They could also go up Zot to beat the Mega Sister spot, but that seems very out of the way.
It would be out of the way. At least going through the hook spot, like you said, you would get 2 bosses out of the way, but boy, that Rubicon spot can be a real jerk depending on who it is.
Yeah, if you get something like an Antlion, that could potentially be pretty bad. Game Boy F9, yes, we did get a heart play in this tourney. Our first giant percent qualifier, actually. Darkness Crystal was at Twin Heart. Was at the was in Cave Magna. Right. Error taking on the Calcabrina spot in Calcabrina, and I don't know where that is.
The Calbrinas, I believe, were in Antlion Cave.
Antlion, okay.
And Zilch putting his adamant on Paladin Cecil, which has been Excalibured. So Cecil's going to do a ton of damage here.
And he's not going to take much in return.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the flag that establishes agility based on the central character, agility agnostic, is on. So putting the adamant on Cecil, no big deal as far as agility issues go, because it's whoever's in the middle at this point. So at this point, Zilch's agility anchor is Sid, and Sid is a wonderful agility anchor. Pretty much bar none. I mean, you can have Tella or something along those lines, but Sid, with his combination of agility and actual ability to do some damage, it makes him a pretty good anchor for a seed like this.
I'm a pretty big fan of Cursed Ringtella as my agility anchor. 1 agility. It's pretty fun.
True. And we have the Luca key at the Baron Inn. So that was the item we missed earlier.
Ah, okay. So potentially another boss spot, but again, that would take a while.
Yeah, and again, depending on what boss is there, that boss spot can be pretty bad.
That is
So-
a pretty high physical attack spot, so something like Antling could potentially ruin your day there.
Error is getting the whale, so we're going to see what he's going to do with this whale. If he's going to do grinding, or if he's just going to, see what happens to be around.
Maybe checking out Lunar Subterrane and seeing if there's any free bosses in there? That is a distinct possibility. Not a likely one, but it's a distinct one. Well, actually, we haven't seen a lot of the free bosses.
We haven't seen a lot of the free bosses, but I've been kind of, half paying attention as much as I can to the items. We don't have a lot of items or spells that can really help with some of the free boss spots.
Yeah.
Okay, and Error is going to the giant.
Oh boy. We'll see how this goes for him. He does not have anyone who can use weak right now.
No.
So he's just going in. He's just going in without it, which is a very risky play. Oh. I think I see what he's doing. He's looking for that last arm. Gonna try to get some experience off of that.
It's not worth a ton of experience, though.
It's not? Oh, I thought it was worth a decent amount. Huh. Well, then I'm wondering why he's opening chests.
Well, I agree that he's well, number one, it's T4. He's looking for, maybe a free...
that's right.
He's looking for a free adamant or something along those lines, but, a little bit of experience sure will help.
Yeah. Oh, Crimson brings up a good point. A water hag or even a dark imps at elements would be amazing for experience.
If he has anything to take care of that. Because remember, to take care of some of these free fights, you need like a stone or a stop or a death spell. So I don't know all what Fu has at this point. And Zilch is also making the play into the giant.
So something that he could do, if it ends up being one of those free fights, Error's got an assassin dagger in his inventory, but I don't know if he's picked up one of the adamant armor yet.
According to the tracker, he did not do the Antland cave for the Pinktail. So let's see, what do we have here? Drum roll, please. Oh, it is a free fight. It's Baron Guards.
Baron Guards. Very fortunate.
So this is one of the free fights that we have here. Now the question is, does Error or Fusoya have a way to deal with these guards?
He has size. The question is, he's not going to be fast enough. Zilch finding that last arm.
Okay, so Error has to realize here that Agility Agnostic is on, and he's got to get Cecil out of that middle spot. He's got to put Sid. He's got to put Sid or Fusoya in that middle spot.
Otherwise, this is not going to turn out very well.
Zilch taking down the last arm for a little bit of extra experience, and let's see what the last arm happens to give. Last arm chest gives a light sword.
He has the Excalibur, so... Oh. Underflow. And the MP underflow glitch is turned on in this flag set.
It's not going to make a difference because there's a free heal here, so the MP underflow.
Oh, that's right.
So that's just kind of a meh move. All right, so let's see what we have here for. All right, Zilch is now taking on the Baron Guards as well.
The difference being Zilch has an adamant armor. Tifa's Revenge brings up a good point. If Error were to turn down his battle speed, he could probably... Oh, he got it.
He got the size glitch, but his Fusoya has Fatal, and Fatal will hit these guards.
But he wants to get everybody up for the experience.
He's also going to life glitch. He's going to try to life glitch this guard here. Nope, didn't work. Oh well. I'm a little surprised that he's not having Cecil cover Fu, but...
Yeah, interesting move.
So it looks like between the two here that are going to the giant, it looks like Zilch will be the first through the fight, and the only two people getting experience will be Cecil and Fusoya.
However, that might be all he needs.
Ooh, stone pickup on Fusoya's side could be huge if this next boss is free.
So if that's a Dark Imp, a Kaipo Guards, maybe even a Fubul Gauntlet. Fubul Gauntlet would be time-consuming, but it wouldn't be hard because of stone, and also adamant armor.
Alright, so let's see what we're going to have here at the CPU spot.
Arrow taking this a bit slower. Gonna be making sure everybody gets experience.
And we have... Valvalis!
Oh! This is not as bad of a fight as it could be, because we have Kane. But... this is still pretty rude.
Yeah, if any of the runners in this race go up to this spot without Kane, no, the rescue flag is on. The rescue flag is on, so that'll be a good... But this pretty much means that this is a Veil required seed, more or less.
Yeah.
Or Kane required. I think I said Veil required. Whoops.
Yeah. So this fight, it'll take a while, for sure.
Well, the... Oh, White does not get through, and although the Berserk Cecil is getting through. So...
Berserking Sid as well. Ever taking quite a while on this one.
And he gets it! Zilch has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 32 minutes and 41 seconds and has secured his place at the final table. GG Zilch.
Congratulations to Zilch. And he is our first finisher. Number 1. So, congrats to him.
And it looks like Big Dunka's going to try his hand here. And he's putting the adamant on Fu, which Turns out it's going to be a pretty darn good idea.
Yes. So basically, sorry, I was laughing at what DJ said in chat.
And we also have our second place finisher here, securing his spot at the final table is Scratch Dragon, finishing roughly 1 minute behind Zilt.
Congratulations to those two.
And with that ding, we do have Zilch joining us in chat. Zilch, congratulations. Nicely done.
Thank you.
So, what do you think when you saw that early darkness crystal? What was your kind of strategy once you had that like within 2?
Part of me wanted to just run right there into the Tower Babel, or Giant. But I figured I should play it smart. We had the Foo. I don't know if I got him before or after, but should get at least one of the instant death spells, weak, or an adamant armor, or some combination of a few of those. I went with the pink tail and then the hook right after that. Yeah, I was happy when I saw Fatal, because I figured I can cheese through at least a good portion of the bosses that I haven't seen.
Yeah, that Fatal really was what made the difference for you. Error actually got to the Baron Guard spot before you did, but he never did the Antlion Cave. So one, he didn't have the Adamant, and two, he didn't get the Fatal that you got. So you were able to just rip right through that Baron Guard fight and then Velvalis.
Yeah, a little annoyed I didn't get the life glitch off. I didn't realize how long Fatal took to cast. Could have given Cecil a few more levels.
Just to give an update, Big Donka is going through the guard fight as well. Just opted to do the side strategy.
So Zilch, you joined Chakashura, Dragus, Iklopfer, Dusty Griff, Rivers Macaw, Nierm, and Scratch Dragon at the final table. What do you think about this final table that's shaping up for Friday?
It's pretty stacked, but I think I'll give them a run for their money. Yeah, we just need more like 4 final tables. The 4th race, and I think then I'd be great. Like going into the Appleseed one, I think race I was just on the bubble, and then 4th race I managed to win it. So feels like it's shaping up the same way here. So let's see. Final table number 4. Looking forward to that one.
Maybe that just means you'll do real well in what is the 4th category that is? What's the 4th flag set that's getting run?
Remember, I'll check.
I'm checking right now.
The 4th flag set is the K1.5 that we used in the. It's reject percent. It's reject percent.
Reject. Maybe that.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but all right.
Reject, pretty weird one. Kind of dirty. Heading off my own ordeals now. Let's see if anybody else. Not yet.
So any thought, Zilch, to you keeping that Edward that you saw, just, in case Dark Cecil happened to be around, or, or if you happen to find a spoon, or, any thought, or you just like, nah, don't need.
I knew what's it called? The thing where you can get him back in Mysidia. Now, blanking on the word.
Rescue.
Rescue, that's the word. The rescue flag was on, so I figured if I got a spoon, I can go pick him up. I mean, I had to go to Mysidia anyway to turn in the Darkness Crystal.
And
Found Edge and a spoon, I would definitely do the dupe.
We do have our third place finisher, Penguinator, 37 minutes and 16 seconds.
This ended up being a much lower seed than we all expected.
So just as a little quick note here, with Penguinator finishing 3rd, he probably, unless something mathematically dumb happens, he will make his way to the final table. He's currently the #1 qualifier via Z-score, and given that he finished third here, I don't see any way he doesn't qualify for the final table at this point.
Aizen Tayama has now finished in 4th place with the time of 38:27. Error finally finishing up his Baron Guard fight.
Simbu 38:52.
So real quick, I want to take this time to thank our restreamer, Natara. I want to thank our tracker, Crimson Avix, and I also want to thank my co-host, Z-Man, for hanging around and chatting with me.
Absolutely. And now we have Error on to the Velvalis fight, but does Berserk Cecil. Now let's see if that unadamanted Cecil will stay alive long enough for him to do some decent work here, or if this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to have to constantly revive Cecil.
That week is not giving me much hope. Slowing down Valvalis. Kind of nerdy housewife is heading into the giant. And that was Zilch leading the call.
And Housewife is now in the giant and is going to take on this last arm chest.
Oh, sorry. Alright. Still waiting for more finishers. The Pig Paladin, or as I like to call him, the Bacon Baron.
I like Bacon of Baron. I'm gonna have to steal that. Natara in chat trying to argue that it's Piggy Pally. I think I like the Bacon of Baron better, or the Baron of Bacon.
Bacon of Baron. Or Baron of Bacon does work as well. I think we're getting overwhelmed here.
Error slowly and steadily taking down Velval.
And there he is. And that is Error in 6th place with a time of 42:14. Rex has also just finished with a time of 42:43.
Error, now that you've joined us here, good job, man. Nicely.
Thank you. I'm a little bit regretting not checking Giant sooner, although I really didn't. I mean, besides size, I don't know if Toad works on the Baron Guards or not. I don't know if the Assassin Dagger is supposed to work on them or not.
I believe Assassin Dagger does work on them.
Yeah. I finally switched to it, but I never got lucky with a swoon, but eh.
River's confirming that Toad does work on them.
Well, That would have saved me some hassle if I had, actually done that. But
Hindsight's
Well,
2020 on that sort of thing.
yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's stuff like that. I'm still reasonably new at Free Enterprise and reasonably new to Final Fantasy IV, so there's a lot of stuff like that I just don't know, or maybe I remember after the fight.
And
So
as
really,
we,
go
Oh.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we say it, Nerdy Housewife casts Toad on the Baron Guards.
So really, what the big difference error between you and Zilch was error. You didn't do, I think, the Antlion Cave, which had the pink tail. But more importantly, those last 3 spells, one of them was Fatal. And Fatal absolutely works on the Baron Guards really quick, actually.
I did do Antlion. I did not do Fabul.
Ah,
Oops, my bad.
And I got Fatal after doing the. Did I get Fatal after the Baron Guards, or did I get Fatal just now? I'd have to go back and look.
After the Baron Guards, the Fatal would have been the next spell tree.
Bummer.
Neon Gray has finished with a time of 43:23.
But I'm happier this went better than the morning qualifier where it went 17 to 17.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I didn't check Antlion Cave, which had all the progression you needed until the very end. But that was last race. This is this race. I was very happy to find the Excalibur on Ordeals.
Just kind of sitting there.
Yeah. But no easy adamants, no... I was really hoping for a week or something so I could do a grind because I'm still pretty new at this, so I don't know when enough is enough. But I'll be happy with finishing 6th in this. And
It's a very solid finish, for sure.
Yeah, it is. Now you're just gonna have to wait to see if your Z score actually gets you qualified or not. It's gonna be close for you, man. It's gonna be close.
we'll see. I mean, there's definitely 3 people ahead of me just from this race. I'm not going to hold out my hopes that it qualifies, but you're saying there's a chance.
By the way, it seems our edge was in Zot. So,
I thought about checking Moon, but going to Moon just takes such a long time.
it really does. You got the cutscene going there, and then you got the cutscene coming back.
About the only other comment I have to make is, the plague spot, or not plague at Mylon Z, which I don't know if I handled it the best way, but I'm just happy it worked out.
Alright, JDP has finished in 9th place with a time of 46:21.
But I got nothing else.
Well, thank you for joining us, Air, and well done in finishing this seat. Is real good performance from you.
Thank you.
Always good to see you around too, man.
I appreciate it.
Alright, Big Dunka going into his Valvalis fight without Kane. So
This is gonna hurt. All right, so we have Kinda Nerdy taking down, in the process of taking down the Baron Guards, which we know are at the element spot. We have Big Dunka working on the CPU fight, or, Valvalis, as we know.
Iker has finished in 10th place with a time of 48:04. Congratulations to them. Big Dunk changing his strategy around a bit. Going.
Ooh. Yeah, I'd like the idea of putting the adamant armor on Cecil here. I really do. But you gotta get Cecil out of the middle because the agility agnostic is on. So now Valvalis's speed is going to be based off of Cecil's and is going to be light years faster than if he moved Sid to the middle.
Indeed. So if I remember correctly, I want to say that Element Spot has like, I want to say 60,000? Or is it more than that?
It's about that, I think.
I know there's a map with
We
all
have
the...
Dr. Cossack in 11th place. And then I'm looking up the boss scaling stats now.
Alright.
Valvalis. Ooh, I had it there for. There we go. Valvalis at the CPU spot will have 24,000 HP.
Alright, and guards at Elements. Baka Shinobi coming in 12th with a time of 50:07.
And the guards at the element spot will have 52,000 each.
Aye. And that is Big Dunka finishing up. Big Dunka finishes in 13th with a time of 50:36. I was having trouble with this last time.
So, Dunka is 13th, 50-36. Smapity is 14th, 50-45.
It's
Accident is 15th, 50-58. And Captain B. White, 51-02. So, 4 finishes, all coming within the span of 30 seconds.
That is close. Alright, Housewife finishing up her Baron Guard spot.
BG Rich, 419, 17th place, 51-40.
Alright, looks like we're just finished. Waiting on Kinda Nerdy to finish up. And that is Dunka.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Dunka, nicely done.
Oh, thanks. You know, food learned no good spells until after it was really important.
Yeah, yeah, so if you had done every spot available to you before the giant, he would have learned Fatal, but that really would have been the best one.
Yeah, it was actually the next one. I learned it right after beating the guards.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought about, I was like, I don't want to go all the way through Magnus Cave or go through the hook route to learn Fatal or Stone or Weak. And oh, look at that, it's the next 2 spells.
I'll be
Stone was on
fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be fine. Spoilers, he wasn't.
and I'm sure I can kind of imagine what was coming out of your mouth when you saw Fatal after the Baron Guard spot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I laughed. I laughed.
Gee, thanks, game. Thanks for doing this now. But nicely done. I mean, you use the size strats on the Baron guards very well, and then you just kind of whittled them down. So nicely done.
Yeah, he kept smalling Cecil, who was the only one that had any sort of offense, because I didn't really manage my errors very well, and I was completely out.
And what was your first thought when you saw Velvalis at the next spot, knowing that you dumped Kane for Edward?
pray that Cecil can get through, so I don't have to go back and get Kane. I didn't think I've done that before. I didn't think that Fu's spells are going to make it through, but I had a good chance that Cecil was going to do it. So, I tried it once or twice, knew what was going on, and so I didn't think it was going to be too bad at that.
If I remember correctly, that spot does not have too much magic evade. Shadow Magi coming in 18th with a time of 54:23.
Yeah, I think I've done Valvulus there before, and I don't think I've had many issues with it. Thankfully, that adamant was... Without that adamant, that would have been a very, very different scene.
Yeah.
Well, these are... at least these were better than the Appleseed runs. But and I think 2 of the 4 that Dark Crystal was just sitting right there at the beginning, and it really made for some interesting choices going up to elementals and CPU. So at least there was that Fu out there too.
Well, the funny thing is that a lot of people kind of did the same thing. By the way, Swimmy coming in 19th with a time of 55:18. But a lot of people did the same thing. They grabbed they found Fu, and then they basically just did all of the overworld spots that they thought were worth doing.
I think it's the only thing you can do. I mean, you can go up there and see who's there, but if you did and you went up there and you saw the guards, you were going to do it anyway because you needed weak or stone or fatal, something like that, because then that's cake. Or Odin. I know there was a Rydia out there.
Oh yeah, if somebody managed to pick up an Odin, that could be a pretty
Yeah, well, that happened in the first. That was in the first qualifier. That was the same thing. The guards were there, and that's how I got through it. Was with Odin.
I see.
But looking forward to next week. The Forge % ones are the ones I was really looking forward to. So should be some good next week.
Mirai Noko coming in 20th with the time of 56:35.
Well, thanks everybody. I'm gonna jump away, and let's have some fun next week.
All right, Kane.
All right, Dunka. We will see you next week.
Thanks everyone.
Yes, thank you to Crimson Avix for not only tracking key items, but for also keeping track of when people actually finish. Rumblefish hits Dot Dome with a time of 57:13. The infamous Dot Dome.
Oh, see, for me, it's the dot dunny. I'll do dot D-O-N-E with an extra E at the end. It's like, no!
For me, it's dot F-O-N-E. Dot phone. I fat finger pretty easy.
To Natara's point, Natara always pre-types her dot done. I do too, but whenever I forget to pre-type my dot done, I always put an extra E on it.
It's just like, oh god. And Housewife finishes up with a time of 58:26. So GG's to her.
Indeed. So while we are waiting on Kinda Nerdy Housewife to come in for an interview, remember, the final table of this particular seed set, of the Giant Percent Seed, will be Friday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a variety of networks, primarily RPG Limit Break, here on Twitch TV/Free Enterprise, and I believe Randomania 1 is also getting in on the action as well.
Indeed they are. Project has now finished with a time of 59.
So right now, just to kind of recap things as they stand right now. Oh, hold on. We'll do that after. But right now we are joined by Kinda Nerdy Housewife. Kinda Nerdy, nicely done.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. I actually set up my mic right this time.
But
So
right now we
that
are joined
wasn't
by
too
Kinda Nerdy
bad.
Housewife. Kinda Nerdy, nice.
Compared to this afternoon's seed, at least.
Yeah, was it Error that was talking about that one?
Yeah, error 17 out of 17, he said.
My party was kind of perfectly set up for Valvalis there, so that was nice.
Yeah, and then we like that you did the toad strats on the Baron Guards. Zilch did Fatal strats, and the other two featured players, Dunka and Error. They both did size strat. So having the toad strats was nice.
Yeah, I was looking for any form of instant death, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any Medusa arrows, I didn't have stone, I didn't have fatal, so I'm like, well, the next best thing is frogs.
Well, they croaked eventually.
Oh my. Oh my.
So, what are your thoughts on this seed?
It was actually really fun. I was pretty happy when I found Fu. Plague was a little bit mean. That was my only wipe. But other than that, kind of fun. I'm mostly just running around trying to find equipment and trying to get some spells on Fu. And then when I actually got to the... like I said, I wish I had a source of instant death so that the 2-guard fight would have gone a lot faster. But other than that, it went pretty smooth, actually. It's my best placement in the qualifiers, so I can't be too unhappy with that.
Nice job.
And I think that's about it.
Awesome. Well done. You looking forward to next week's Forge Pursuit?
I actually really like the Forge flag, but I'm going to be out of town next weekend and I won't have my normal setup, so unfortunately I won't be able to do that one.
All right. As we were talking, OPT Lawyer finished in 25th with a time of 1 hour and 49 minutes. Shamstron finished up in 26th with a time of 1:02:32, and Calamity has finished in 27th with a time of 1:02:39.
And then just to kind of summarize what's going on here, given that this is the final qualifying event for the Giant Percent, the guaranteed people at the final table this coming Friday will be Zilch and Scratch Dragon, who finished first and second, as well as Chakasura, Dragus, Iklopfer, Dusty Griff, Rivers McCown, and Nier. Okay? And then it's going to come down to Z scores for the next following people: Penguinator, Baka Shinobi, Sume Leone, and Aizen Tayama, and Simbu. So, some combination of those four are also going to be in. Penguinator is most likely in, given that he had the best Z-score not to be guaranteed a spot, and he finished in third place in this race. So, Penguinator probably in. So then it's coming down to Baka, Swimmy, Izon, and Simbu for the last two places, probably. So it'll be interesting to see who actually winds up getting to this final table. But either way, it's going to be a great final table coming up.
Indeed, it will be. And so that will be this Friday at what time?
That would be 9:30 p.m. Eastern, I believe, and that will be on the 3 channels of RPG Limit Break, Free Enterprise, where we are right now, and one of the Randomania channels, which we will let everyone know ahead of time. And with that, we're going to clue up our stream. I have linked all the runners, the featured runners today, and our volunteer team for this race in the in the Twitch channel. Please give everyone a follow, and thank you so much for coming out. Hopefully we will see you at the final tables. With that, we're going to raid one of our community members in Venerable, who is doing some Catalyte practice, which is one of the future categories that we'll be doing as part of the World Series of Free Enterprise. So with that, we're going to say goodnight, and please enjoy some more Free Enterprise, mostly responsibly. Good night, everybody.